Hey guys, what's going on? Third Street Reactions here. We're back. I'm Shane.
Zach.
We're back with Star Wars Rebels, Season 1, Episode 9.
Yeah.
Zach, last episode, we had Empire Day, National Holiday. Galactic Holiday.
Galactic Holiday.
Galactic Holiday. Yeah.
Big.
They were going to sabotage the parade. They were setting those charges everywhere. Ezra was a little depressed. Do you remember why?
What's his birthday?
Yeah.
And
Also
his parents also died.
Yeah. The day he lost his parents. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we meet a rodeo. Remember his name?
I wrote it down. Like Sibo.
Yeah, Sibo. And he's got an implant like Episode 5's Lobot.
Yeah.
Helping Lando Calrissian. He has some vital information. The Inquisitor's after him. The Empire's just after him in general. We had a little fight on that little highway place, and then a ghost got away. And it said to be continued on the bottom. So we're going to continue now. Before we jump in, if you want to support us, hit that tip button. Leave a comment down below. Also, check us out on Patreon to see our full-length uncut reactions. Let's jump in.
What's up, full length? We're starting Star Wars Rebels, Season 1, Episode 9. In 3, 2, 1.
Oh, being pursued. I know we talked about the design of the ghost. Not my favorite. Not terrible or anything, but simple.
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
Roll away.
Yeah, it's... Which, for the animators, is probably a blessing.
Yeah.
Open fire. The shields will not hold indefinitely.
Jason Isaacs.
Hmm. I think the idea of being captured by this government would be an overwhelming paranoia of mine.
What happened to your parents?
I already know what happened. They're dead. So go.
I'm just giving her. Why are you mean mugging her?
Because it matters that she's keep them alive.
Yeah.
It won't matter what he knows.
Yeah,
Because his cybernetic implant has downloaded half the Empire's secrets.
like R2.
Okay, I can see why that's important.
In Episode 4, he downloads all the schematics of the Death Star and kind of, yeah. Ooh, that's a good explosion.
Coward! You could have stopped them. Why didn't you stop them?
Ephraim. Like, F.
Sibo! My parents trusted you and you failed them and you failed me. I'll never forgive you for that.
Maybe he forgets something with tubes on his head.
I mean, he's obviously not,
Not-
yeah.
Could really use that nav computer.
Rewiring fast as I...
It's crazy thinking in Star Wars canon, those Imperial cruisers are just way faster than the Millennium Falcon. You know, weird to think about?
Well, the bigger engines.
I know it's still weird to think about.
I don't believe it. Hang on.
Of course, we have that little trick.
Keep it a tracker.
Yeah. In Fast and Furious, one of the movies, they shoot these electrical things that overload the engine.
Thank you, Sibo. I think you saved our lives.
Yeah, I guess there's a first time for everything.
He's obviously simple.
Maybe he's trying to make up for letting you down. Why else would he take on the Empire alone?
Empire Boskini Swastika.
He
Swastika.
said the Empire can track the ghost.
Oh, please. The Imperials can't follow us through hyperspace.
And the technology's not invented yet. You know what's so cool about Episode 1? The idea that you're taking damage, and you have to send these astromechs up there to do maintenance alive.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we got a little more of that sometimes. Like during the Clone Wars, you know?
Okay. Strap in.
I don't know why this makes me want to watch Ahsoka. So we see the falling out of the hyperspace dimension.
Is now really the best time for a lesson?
No, but I figure it's learning like you do best, by surviving.
Picking up.
We're using another set. Clone Wars, we have a different one every fucking episode, Zach. Every episode. George is like, I'll pay for it.
That's a step forward.
Yeah, into the jaws of a nightmare.
No, I like this little arc when they were stuck here, though.
Here we go.
You know, why couldn't they get Chopper to go up there and pick it off?
Well, they're trying to, because
I think they're just trying to get them
the
away.
Inquisitors tracking them through the Force and shit too is kind of how they made it sound.
Yeah. Now, like, get the hell out of there is what I say.
Yeah. A hard time believing. I know he's the Grand Inquisitor, right?
Yeah.
But
He's a top dog.
I have a hard time believing he'd be like so in tune that he can just track them everywhere. But maybe he can.
Rolled a d20 on Beast, on, what's it called? Beast Tame.
There's so much information inside Sibo.
Fulcrum's people will help you with that.
Fulcrum. Fulcrum again.
It's a code name, right?
Yep.
Then tell me, Sibo. Tell me, and I'll tell Ezra.
Those thighs.
Hers?
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know what I thought you said, but it wasn't thighs.
Let's go to Five Guys.
Just tablet.
Yeah. It's this music that always gets me.
Rebel ship is inside.
Keep them contained. I want them alive. This was your plan. To lure us here and allow these creatures.
Well, it wasn't like the Geonosis arc. Remember the way those freaking clones died in that?
Mm-hmm.
It's great music right now.
It is.
It's like,
Fantastic music.
You're not going near it.
I believe I am. In fact, it's time to end both Jedi and Padawan.
It's a big fucking creature.
No.
he looked cool there, dude.
Oh yeah, that's a really cool shot.
Yeah.
What happened? I feel so cold. I know. It's okay.
No.
Drat.
There's no need with these people.
All right. It's such an inconvenient place to put you.
Not be pleased.
What you say?
It is. That shot just reminded me of Empire Strikes Back when they lose track of him. He just kind of relaxes. Yeah.
He looks down, looks
Yeah.
away.
Just
He looks down, looks back, right?
Yeah.
And then looks away again. I need to watch
Something
that again.
doesn't feel right.
Just the old trilogy in
Will
general.
isn't strong enough when you open yourself to the Force.
I don't remember it.
That's for the best.
Yeah, don't think about it.
Your powers are growing so quickly you weren't prepared. I didn't teach you what you needed to know. I'm sorry.
What's that guy, Augie? He's a baseball player. Pretty sure they might be in Dallas. He had these epic speeches and rants, just screaming at the kids. I think I sent you one time.
He did.
Ezra, I have something to...
Ezra needs a little time to himself right
Shut the hell up. Come on. Let's hear what she has to say.
now. We need to talk.
If I were her, I'd be a little peeved that he cut me off. Actually.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
no time to talk, woman.
I have just what you need. It's the holodisc from your old house. It was pretty degraded, but I cleaned it up, and I found something.
Mom?
I always like that picture.
Happy birthday, Ezra Bridger.
Probably doesn't have any of that, you know?
If they're gonna die at the end of Ahsoka, that's why they're not there. for the rest of Star Wars.
Ezra and them. Well, Ahsoka takes place after Episode 6.
Yeah, the sequel trilogy.
That's 30 years later. So,
Back on YouTube.
guys, that was a reaction. What'd you think?
I liked it. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
If this was a series that I had invested a lot of time and expectation into,
Yeah.
I might have felt the same way, but then rehashing, going back to that asteroid and shit like that.
Yeah.
I might care more, but that was a good episode.
Because plot-wise, I see why they went back there as well. It wasn't like recycled landscape footage, although that might have been convenient for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of using, I believe it's called Beast Tame, one of the Star Wars Force powers. The first time we see the movies is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Anakin uses it on the, I can't remember the name of the big rhino thing.
Yeah.
We see a version, we see something that looks like him in the Clone Wars. It's not quite the same though.
Yeah. It's not as drastic when he does it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Anakin had, actually, I think in the books, like one of his natural abilities was that and telekinesis. Like, there's a couple things he wasn't good at. He talks about in the books. I mean, he was better. His baseline was better than most people.
Yeah.
But there were a couple things he wasn't as good at. But yeah, Ezra. Obviously we're following characters that have to be interesting, and he's progressing quickly. So what do you think that was there? That moment where he was trying to protect Kanan, and he had that moment where he.
Well, it's like anger. He's projecting his anger onto the animal, and the animal attacked.
Yeah.
Who he wanted to attack.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think, like, if you were trying to explain to someone who, like, what was the big difference when it comes to the action and the outcome to what they were doing with the smaller ones and to what he did in anger to the big one?
Well, the smaller ones are part of the plan. And the bigger one was like something he just summoned up with his rage and fear.
Okay.
And
it's more the means than the ends there. Like the means to which he summoned the monster is why it was faux pas. Because
no, I just feel like what it involves is like all the creatures that approached them initially.
Yeah.
He tamed them out of a sense of survival.
Yeah.
And what they were talking about at the beginning of the episode. And the idea at the end of the episode is they were kind of in a tight spot. Ezra was like that extreme fear that he felt.
Yeah.
He was able to conjure up the ability to force his will on a bigger, more mature version of the species. So it's just like his powers were amplified by his fear.
By the dark side.
Yeah.
And that was.
And I feel it's more like it's circumstantial.
Yeah.
And because of the situation, because they were on their last leg.
Yeah.
He was able to summon up that energy, influence that creature, and produce his will, or influence his will onto it, and make it attack the Inquisitor. And then as he passed out and all that shit, the creature's like, oh fuck, I'm getting hurt.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Inquisitor a lot here. He's saying some typical dark side things, but it never gets old for me. He's trying to create fear and anger, saying, what Palpatine did to Luke, you're going to lose everything.
No, I love that it's Jason Isaacs.
And I love that it's Jason Isaacs.
I'm just listening. You know what I mean? I'm just enjoying the performance because I know it's him.
Yeah, it feels like it looks like him. Like, that's just me projecting Jason Isaacs onto the character.
Maybe, yeah, because I don't feel like it looks
I just feel like...
I feel like he looks weird, but at the same time, he looks cool enough. But as far as the Utapauians or Utapai or whatever the fuck they're called.
Utapauans, you're right.
Utapauans.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get how Disney dropped the fucking ball by not paying the money out to hire that man.
Yeah.
It could only have benefited that fucking series.
Only. Yeah. Might have been one of the coolest characters.
He probably would have been because Jason.
But I love him for a different reason.
Jason Isaacs would have done such a better job. I don't mean any detriment to the man that played him.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, he's been canonized here.
Yeah.
And we love that guy, and he's a high-profile actor.
Yeah.
It would have been great to have him. I agree. Can't disagree with that. And the ability to track through hyperspace. Mm-hmm. So, I thought when you had an actual tracker, when they got out of hyperspace, there's some type of rule of being able to track people through hyperspace.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, so Mira, his mother, and Ephraim, his father. Pretty cool names.
Yeah, they're standardizing. I know Star Wars has been doing that more often anymore. They've been trying to. Which other than like Luke.
Yeah, Luke is like a
Luke's like straight out of the fucking Bible, but I mean, and Ben.
Ben, yeah.
And Owen.
Yeah.
So those names have been around, But
Kind of like these common ass names, but he wanted them to sound common for these common people.
yeah, well, you look at fucking.
There's a difference between someone named Harry
Hold up.
and someone named Anakin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm trying to think. Game of Thrones. So they took names like Eddard.
Yeah.
Like, never heard that fucking name before. But he calls him Ned.
Yeah.
His
Well, I know.
nickname's Ned.
I did know someone named Eddard.
Who the fuck did you know that was named Eddard? Or prior to that.
My
series?
friend's brother lives in Sweden.
Really?
Yeah.
No, so they just borrowed shit over there. Oh, well, I'm wrong.
No, I mean, he's older.
Nope, points moot. So
I'm sorry. I hate doing that.
but either way,
But I don't know anyone named Daenerys. I'll say that. So you go. You know.
that's too late.
Okay.
Points moot now.
Fulcrum was mentioned again, so it's a code name for something. We don't know what that is yet.
Person, it's probably fucking what's his name? That asshole.
Lando. I don't know.
No, the asshole lives on. It's Leia's
Bail.
foster dad. Yeah, Bail.
Yeah. We'll have to
He
see.
was on the ship.
Yeah.
So
Well, good answer. But, yeah. Okay, so they scale back the show in some ways. I mean, to me, I think clearly the animation isn't as good as before the cancellation. Obviously, the last season of Clone Wars looks amazing, but the last 2 or 3 seasons of Clone Wars look pretty damn good compared to this.
yeah,
This they scaled it back a little bit. They gave Dave Filoni the bare bones. Said, all right, maybe you'll survive, maybe you won't. In my opinion, he created a pretty great thing.
he stacked on those bones.
Yeah, he stacked on them.
Those bones at the foundation.
Yeah, and this show starts to look better, and in my opinion, tells a pretty damn good story, which obviously continues in Ahsoka. But we're looking at the kind of violence that's displayed inside the hangar bay, or the hangar, with those beasts. Like it wasn't like even in some of the early seasons of Clone Wars, we saw some terrible deaths with some of these clone troopers.
Yeah.
Like things.
Well, because they were cannon fodder.
Yeah, I know. I still think they were just
They're
terrible.
like stormtroopers.
Yeah, but here the stormtroopers they didn't show the terribleness.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
they're an example of someone in white armor
Yeah.
that fills that role.
Yeah, and they can be cannon fodder, but what I'm saying is they toned down the violence a little bit here.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I don't really care.
I care, but I also understand that this was initiated as a children's show.
Yes.
So I get that it's not going to show some gruesome things.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty comparable to just the season 1 in terms of the tone. Although season 1 of Clone Wars has some terrible deaths.
Oh, yeah.
So, but that being said, I really like the episode. I like the fight, and one of the strongest points to me, if we're not talking about just Jason Isaacs being the Inquisitor, is the music was one of the best little soundtracks I've heard in Star Wars in a while.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like a classic Star Wars song with like these vocals.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Yeah.
In that fight, it was very enjoyable, very good. I mean, the sound, the fucking music, just I don't know. Like, it was not a overly intrinsic episode.
Yeah.
But it was also.
What do you think happened to his parents? They're alive or dead?
Well, I feel like they should be dead. But how many seasons is it?
That's a good way, and I was like saying, like, I'm not gonna be wrong. Like, they should be. If they are, I'm right. If they're not, then I'm right because they should have been.
Hold up. How many seasons is this show?
Like 3, unless
Is it 3?
like 3 or 4.
Up until like all the Thrawn shit.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, no, there's like 3 seasons, and then it's over, and then there's Ahsoka. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. So
Maybe there's 4, but there ain't.
I feel like they're dead.
Okay.
I think they're dead.
Okay.
I think that maybe they don't. Maybe initially they don't think they're dead,
Okay.
but I think by the point in time when it reaches a certain point, they will be dead, or have been dead.
Yeah.
I should say. So I'm trying to say that they're going to believe that they might not be dead, but eventually, once they get to a certain point, they're going to find out they have been dead.
Okay.
Dead.
All right.
Fucking dead.
With a capital F. So, okay, that's pretty much all I got. I thought it was a fun episode. Like the lightsaber fight, like the music. Love Jason Isaacs always, and I like the moments where
makes
Ezra.
me sad. It just makes me sad.
But we're happy we get him here, right? He's been canonized within Star Wars.
I know. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
What if he sits back and thinks about that? He's sitting back, sipping on Chardonnay or whatever the fuck he
I'm
drinks.
sure he doesn't.
I was thinking, like, could have been Star Wars,
Yeah.
but I'm not.
But yeah, that's it, guys. If you don't want to wait until next week, leave a tip. No, you can't just leave a tip. You gotta do more. You gotta go to Patreon because we have 4 weeks early access. If you can go there, it helps us out. If not, we'll see you next Thursday on YouTube. Much love. See you next time.